Place a jack stand under the lower control arm. This will support the rear wheel bearing carrier when you remove the rear shock. You are going to have to remove a few pieces of the trunk interior trim. Start by pulling out the center solid carpet. Next, you will have to remove the trim piece that runs along the latch area of the trunk. Start by removing the 4 plastic rivets, 2 indicated by the green arrows. To remove the rivets, lever the center tab out using a trim panel tool. Working in the trunk, remove 2 plastic caps using a small flathead screwdriver, green arrow. With the plastic caps removed, remove the 2 Phillips head screws, green arrow. The photo shows the left side, the right side is the same. Lift up the trunk trim piece and detach it from the luggage hooks. Once detached, remove it from the trunk. Working in the trunk, remove 3 plastic rivets, green arrows. These rivets secure the carpet to the side of the trunk. The left side shown in the photo, remove the right side as well. Once all the trim clips have been removed, pull the carpet away from the body. Start where the carpet at the side of the trunk meets the carpet at the seat back. Pull away until you see the shock tower rubber cap as indicated by the green arrow. Once you have access to the shock tower rubber cap, you have to open it to gain access to the shock mount nuts. Just pull it up to remove it from the body. Next, you have to remove the top shock fastener, green arrow. Working at the top of the shock, break the shock nut free using a 16mm socket. Then, using an 8mm socket and 16mm wrench, remove the shock fastener. Then remove the shock nut with the attached washer. Next, you have to remove the lower shock fasteners. They attach to the lower swing arm. If you are replacing just the shocks, remove the shock nut, green arrow. If you are replacing the shock and the shock mount, remove the 2 E12 fasteners as well, as indicated by the yellow arrows. To remove the nut, use a 17mm socket to break the nut loose. Then remove the shock fastener using an 8mm socket and a 17mm wrench. Once the nut is free, you will have to slide the wrench in a slot in the lower swing arm in order to grab the nut. Grab the top of the shock and slowly compress it until you can remove it from the vehicle. Inspect the lower shock mount and replace it if needed, green arrow. Inspect the rear shock thrust bearing and replace if needed, green arrow. Assemble new or old shock bump stops and protective cover onto the new shock in order shown. Install the shock in the vehicle. Install the lower portion of the shock first with the fasteners finger tight. Place a jack under the swing arm to raise the shock back into the trunk. Then install the washer with nut and tighten. Then tighten the lower shock fastener. Reinstall the trunk trim carpet and test drive the vehicle. Thanks for watching. Click here to view the original article along with hundreds of other DIY content for your car.